Okay, I'm recording this video for everyone who is new to Joe Dispenza's work, to save you time and to bring you closer to your goal, which is perfect health, seeing results in your healing journey. It's so good to be able to share my experience with everyone who is new on this path, because I spent an enormous amount of time studying this work, and I believe that although I definitely probably still fully don't understand everything that Joe Dispenza is talking about, I managed to heal myself within 3 days, as most of you probably by now know. And what I did, I'm just going to share with you what I did exactly. And this is what I recommend to everyone when they start this journey. Because I can see that this approach is really effective and saves you time in terms of like avoiding some mistakes and getting stuck in some sort of limiting beliefs and programming which doesn't serve in the healing process. So the first thing I advise you to do is learn as much as possible about this work. The more we understand how this works, the more we know how powerful this process is, the more we will believe that healing is possible. And with this sort of a really profound understanding and belief that it's truly going to happen for you, because it's happened for so many people, and this work is backed by science. Joe has done so much effort in presenting the scientific evidence that this work really works, and that's why it's important to understand. I'm not saying you have to understand every single detail of what Joe talks about, because a lot of people find it difficult. Obviously, he uses a lot of scientific terminology, and not everybody is as familiar with everything that he mentions in his presentations and books. But try to immerse yourself in at least the basic information of how this actually works. Because if you approach this by just like, okay, I'm gonna just try this meditation and see what happens, without the understanding of what you are actually doing, the result is not gonna be the same as with more comprehension of what the process involves. So learn as much as possible. Watch the videos on YouTube. Watch Joe's presentations. Some of them are really long, some of them are really short, so you can just kind of binge watch. It's a very healthy type of binge watching, you know, because with each video, with each presentation, you will pick some more things. There's a series on Gaia that you can subscribe and you can watch. This one is quite good as well. Obviously, reading the books. I would say for the beginners, You Are the Placebo and Breaking the Habit of Being Yourselves. These are the first books that I would recommend. Becoming Supernatural could come a little bit later as you get more advanced in the work. Obviously, I would recommend watching my videos and videos of other people who have done the work for quite a while, and they know what it involves and they share their experience. I will be recording, and I have recorded some videos about how to do specific meditations like blessing of the energy centers. The next one I will be doing is about tuning into your potentials. I will also be talking about the power of meditation as such and go into details. Obviously, Joe talks all about it, but I will present you my perspective and my understanding. Like I said, learn as much as possible, because the more you learn, the more the quicker you will see the results of your work. Now, whilst you are doing the work, you can start meditating, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm reading this book and that book, and it just like takes me so long, and I don't seem to understand it, and it's like you are just like putting it off in time. So I would say, if you're really desperate to see the results, if you really want to get on with the process, start meditating, even if it's just one meditation a day. The minimum that Joe recommends for healing, and for anything really, but for healing, it's 2 meditations a day, so morning and evening, or you can do afternoon and evening, but morning and evening is what Joe recommends. And now what I'm going to say, if you have a very strong belief that you feel within yourself that you really doubt whether you are able to heal with this work, if you believe that, oh, maybe it's possible for others but not necessarily for me, I would recommend meditation, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, from the book. So you can obviously use this one as the first meditation, in which you will work on reprogramming this belief. The belief is basically, I can't heal, or I don't think I can heal, or maybe it's going to take me years to heal, stuff like this. If you have this sort of belief, I would definitely recommend Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself meditation, where you specifically reprogram two beliefs into the negative ones, into the positive ones. So you put the first belief, I can't heal, or I think I'm not going to heal, or I think it's going to take me forever, into, for example, I can heal. And when you do it in a meditation, when you slow down your brainwaves, this information goes into your subconscious mind, and you can reprogram this belief much easier, and you will see that you will be shifting in this, you will feel more, you will feel that this belief is creating a new neural pathway in your brain, and you will feel less resistance, and you will feel more empowered to do the work and more motivated to do the work. Number 3 is create a routine. So if you decide to do the meditations once or twice a day, stick to it. If you, for example, try morning ones and it doesn't seem to work for you, try just doing one in the evening, because the evening energy seems to be much more relaxing when you don't have to stress about things that are going to happen in the day. You don't have to feel rushed. Do one in the evening, proper one, long meditation. But my recommendation is 2 meditations, one in the morning, one in the evening. And don't skip a day, because those neural pathways which are created during the meditations, and everything that's happening in the meditation, once you start doing it, in order to maintain the continuous improvement and healing in your body, it's really important to do it every single day. It's almost like taking medication, treated like that, you know, meditation, medication kind of sounds similar. So you know, even like with tablets, you know, when people take tablets regularly, I'm not saying it's a good idea, but the doctor says take it every day, because that's how it's supposed to work. So treat meditation like a medication, but so much better and so much more powerful. I always say that a meditation is like a magic pill, the best one we can get. So create a routine and stick to it. Understand that meditation is not the only thing that's going to heal you. Because once you start learning about this work, Joe talks about meditation, how powerful it is, how it helps you, you know, places your body in this perfect state when you slow down the brain waves and you begin to build the brain and heart coherence, and the body will start naturally switching on the healing mode, and it will do all the magic, all the alchemy, and everything that needs to be done just by you allowing the body be in a relaxed state, slowing down the brain waves and getting out of the way. So it's basically surrendering to the process, surrendering to the divine, allowing the body to heal. So it's like works on 2 levels. And really, yeah. So understanding the meditation is not the only thing. So the second part of the process, which is very important, and some people still kind of miss that part, is changing the way you think, the way you react, the way you think, the way you feel throughout the day between the meditations. And this is so crucial, because if you cancel everything that you have done in a meditation, if you do all those elevated emotions morning and evening, but in between you go back to fear, resistance, doubting and everything else, you honestly cancel so much of it. So that's why every time you catch those negative thoughts, every time you catch yourself in this fearful mode, reacting to symptoms, doubting if you're gonna heal, you have to remember that this has to change. All of this has to change. So this is what I call the brain retraining, the breaking the habit of being yourself, being your old self. This is what Joe calls it. So this part is extremely important. This is the hardest part in this work, because it's fairly easy just to lay down or sit and for the meditation for 1 hour, and then, you know, the most difficult part is breaking the habit of being yourself. So catching those negative beliefs, negative thoughts, fearful thoughts, doubtful thoughts, and reprogramming every single one. So that's what Joe says. The basic is like the thought comes, you recognize it, you can embrace it with love. That's one thing that I recommend as well. Oh, okay, you came, this is part of my old programming, and then you just say stop, 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 or change, change, change. Take a deep breath, and then you put the positive thought, the positive belief that you want to reprogram the old one into the new one. And by doing this, you are switching off the old neural pathways, the ones that are already so now installed in your brain, and that's why their thoughts keep coming up. And you are now building new circuitry in your brain by creating those new connections and new thoughts. And that's why it's so important to do it every single day, every time stuff comes up, because that's the only way to that. It's like learning a new language. If you don't revise, if you don't say it over and over again, like learning new words, vocabulary in foreign language, you will not learn. So that's exactly what it is. Every time a negative thought comes up, you have to catch yourself and reprogram it into a positive one. And trust me, this really works. And it may seem really difficult at the beginning when you start doing the work, but it gets so much easier as you continue. You become your own detective. You become aware of those negative thoughts, and that's a big thing. When you just become aware of those thoughts, that's a big breakthrough. And then you will see more and more of them, and you're just like, this is the old programming. This is the thing that I don't want anymore. So you're introducing the new one. And every time something negative comes out, ask yourself, does this thought, does this emotion, does this feeling serve my healing? If it doesn't, you have to say, this is the old me, and I am creating a new me. I want to, in order to create my future self, my healthy self, I need to change the way I feel, the way I think, the way I respond. The way I respond to environment, the way I respond to situations in life. It's not just what you think about yourself. It's about everything to do with your life, with your environment, everything. It's like Joe says, we have to become greater than the environment. We have to raise ourselves above everything in order to change. So we have to stop being responsive, stop reacting in the old ways, stop. And it's just every time when you do, catch yourself. And you won't be perfect. There will be days when you will go unconscious, and that's fine. It's a process. It's going through the river of change. But the more you reprogram every single day, you're working towards your healing. And the third thing that I want to mention, Joe doesn't talk about it so much, but I personally believe that a major factor in healing is releasing the trauma and pain and any sort of stuff that is still stored in your body, memories, So anything that you still feel like there is an emotional charge to the events in the past, anything you regret from the past, anything that you may feel sorry about or feel guilty, feel bad, feel like you haven't forgiven yourself or others, all those grudges, all those, the most common ones are just the feeling of guilt, feeling like a failure at some, anything that you have, you may consider that you have failed in your life, anything to do with how other people treated you. So these are the things that you have to release and work through. I was guided by my soul during my 3-day intense meditation that these are the things that I have to release, and I also spoke about it in my other video, so have a look. And all of this has to be released, because if we don't, it's going to be lowering our vibration, and it will not let us go higher in frequency as quickly as we would like to, and the low vibration is going to be holding us back. So that's why it's so important to release. And this is why Joe Dispenza recommends the breath, because this is a kind of fast track for releasing those trapped emotions, which are usually stored in the first, second and third center. All of those low emotions of insecurity, low self-esteem, fear, unworthiness, all of that is stored in the lower chakras. And in order to transmute those energies and release them is by doing the breath and transmuting this energy from the lower centers to the brain, back to the brain, where it's transmuted into high frequency. And when I was doing my healing, I did so much breath. I did the breath like, let's say, almost every hour, and I was meditating like 24 hours non-stop, so day and night. So imagine how much I stirred the energy and how much of that I released from the bottom centers to the top. And I could feel it because my body started shaking properly when I was doing this. I didn't even know what was happening to me. I was getting all those muscle spasms, and it was obviously, I knew that this was the purpose of doing it, but I didn't know that there was so much energy stuck in my body. And at some point it got stuck in my shoulders and here, because the throat chakra was not open properly. So that's why blessing of the energy centers is so important, because we are working also on the throat chakra, which allows for those lower chakra energies to be moved up to the brain. Otherwise you may feel lots of discomfort in this area because the throat chakra is blocking, and the throat chakra is obviously to do with expressing yourself, and a lot of people have issues with expressing their feelings and emotions and talking about what's going on in their subconscious mind. So this chakra is blocked for most people, but it doesn't mean that the energy doesn't go through. It just means that it may be slightly blocked. And the more you do the breath, the more you release the energy from the lower centers, the more you will be raising your vibration, and it will be easier for you to access those elevated emotions. Because, you know, Joe says, you know, focus on elevated emotions. We have to bless the energy centers with elevated emotions. But if you are feeling still very down and very depressed or hopeless, it's very hard to reach those high elevated emotions. So for me, really, this happened when I started doing the breath. It was such a powerful release that I suddenly thought, like, I don't know where this energy came from, but this is where it comes from. If you imagine that all this energy is stuck in your lower centers with those low frequencies, once you start moving it up to the brain, you are releasing a massive amount of energy from your body, which is kind of, at this point, before you release it, it's like slowing you down, it's bringing you down, it's making you feel horrible, it's making you feel sad, because this is the low frequency emotions which are stuck in your body. Like, imagine like dark energy stuck at the bottom of your body. And once you transmute it into a higher frequency, because that's what happens during the breath, it's like suddenly you get all this energy in a completely different form, in elevated form. And that's when you start feeling happy. That's when you start feeling positive, and you start feeling joy. And it just happens naturally, without any sort of change in your environment or any sort of change in your health, in your symptoms. You naturally start feeling much happier. I remember smiling and laughing during the first meditations after I started doing the breath, because it was just the release happening. But at the same time, I also wanted to say, obviously, crying is probably the first thing that you will be experiencing once you allow yourself to release those emotions from the past. And it's so important. When I speak to people, and I can see massive difference in people who allow themselves to cry in meditations and really open their heart and really go back to the past and really feel those emotions from the past, and forgive and release and let go of all of that, and just don't want to carry this baggage anymore with them. And those people heal so much quicker. They basically heal instantly. And those who can't do it, those who still say to me like, oh, I can't cry, I don't know why I can't cry, you are blocking yourself from healing. Crying is the best mechanism that we have as humans to deal with difficult emotions, with trauma, with everything. Just cry it out, feel sorry for yourself. Feel sorry for yourself about everything you had, every difficult situation you had to go through. Just feel sorry for yourself and allow yourself to feel the pain of those situations. Really, just ask yourself, how did it make me feel? When this happened or that happened, how did it make me feel? And just feel that emotion. And as much as you feel it, the more you feel it, the more you will be able to embrace it, and the more you will be able to release it in full. If you just allow yourself to feel a little bit, you will release a little bit. So really feel those emotions. This is how it made me feel, and just cry it out, and then it's gonna just come out. It's gonna be transmuted. And also, you know, the part of forgiveness, forgive the people who ever hurt you, forgive yourself, release the guilt, release the blame. And like I said, this is the way we look at it, is by looking at it from higher level of consciousness. So looking at it, that it was just part of my human experience. It was just part of my lessons that I had to learn. It was, most of it was pre-planned before I came over here, and not just the stuff that I experienced, but the stuff that people did to me or I did for other people. It was part of the plan before we came here. And this is what it is. And we just can't take our life so seriously, and we do, unfortunately. But just look at it as an experience, and then it's gonna make it so much easier. And really detaching from this victim mentality that if something happened to me in the past, I'm going to suffer for the rest of my life, and keep those grudges and keep thinking that I am the victim of this. This is the worst thing that people do to themselves, the victim mentality. You know, this happened to me 30 years ago, and so I have to be the victim of it for the rest of my life. Oh, come on, you don't. You choose to be the victim if you still keep thinking this way. So just make a decision. No, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to waste my life for this. Okay, it was painful in the past, but I'm not going to let my life to be ruined because of this event. And then the last thing that I would recommend is joining groups. There are groups on Facebook that are, obviously you can ask questions, you can see how other people share their testimonials, and you can ask questions. You can obviously join my group on Telegram, where I support people and we do meditations together. So it's really important, especially at the beginning, but even later on, when you do the work, to have the support, because we always learn from each other, and we experience sometimes different I don't know, we come across different blocks when we do the work. So that's where it's so important to have some sort of support from people who are more experienced. I was doing this when I was doing the work later on after my healing, so it's really good to have the support. So the live meditations obviously are also very good. When you do it with other people, this can help you amplify the energy and heal faster, because it's combining energy of several people with the same intention for healing. That's a very powerful thing to do. And I run meditations twice a week for my group, so everybody is welcome. I think that these are the main things in terms of, yeah, I just wanted to go back to the meditation. So I said, start with breaking the habit of being yourself if you have the belief or some really, really strong beliefs that you really need to reprogram before you start the work. But generally, I would just go for blessing of the energy centers for healing. This is the best one to start. So you can start with blessing of the energy centers number 1, which is very simple, beautiful, gentle meditation where Joe guides you all the way through, and all you need to do is just really focus on what you are requested to do. Really focus on those centers, really properly focus on that, and it's just like a practice to go deeper. And if you can't do at the beginning the full meditation, do a few centers and then go back, because you know some people find it really difficult to meditate at the beginning. Just keep building it slowly. I dived deep from the beginning. I just said to myself, that's it, I'm not waiting any longer, I'm just going to go all deep. That's why I started with blessing of the energy centers, tuning into new potentials, present generous moment, generous present moment meditation, and I did a lot of breath. Yeah, so these are the things that because I will be talking about tuning into new potentials specifically as well, about how I did it. So yeah, this is the guide for anybody who is starting the work. Just remember, there are 3 main pillars: meditation, which is obviously amazing, brain retraining, catching those negative thoughts and really changing. The more you change, the quicker you change them, the quicker you will change your timeline, the quicker you will kind of quantum jump to a new reality where you are healthy. And even for me, I just said to myself, from today I am healthy. That's it. I didn't pay attention to my symptoms. I just said, from today I am healthy. That's it. And I ignored anything that was happening that would be in opposition to my belief. And at the same time, I just went all in, and I did the meditations day and night, day and night, day and night, and the healing happened on day 3. And why it happened, I'm going to explain in the next video, where I will tell you why I believe I healed so quickly. Thank you for listening, and I hope this guidance is helpful. If you've got any questions, please put in the comments or email me. I'm happy to help.